the thing is we want to avoid like this right here, right? So this is not fun to be in when we're continually ripping, right? So right now it's like we had this morning. If we're going to where we start trading, is it's kind of like right here. So the thing with right here is that we have the threat of the downside, okay, like we talked about yesterday, and we want to wait for confirmation of the move. Like that's literally like how I'm looking to trade it. So if we don't have confirmation of the move, it's hard to justify buying right here. You know, there's people got to be buying at 74,000. Let's be honest. Like who's buying Bitcoin at 74,000, right? Probably the rich, but people have to be buying in order for this thing to go up. BlackRock we know is buying, yada yada yada. But this morning, if we zoom into it, what we can simply see is that we have the point of control in here. So we are in the middle of the range, the hot dog of the range. We are not on the buns, okay? In the middle of the range. It's been up only for quite some time. So how do we trade this? So looking at this, we had one hint, okay? The problem is, in my opinion, we did not come low enough. Okay, so there's liquidity in these lows here. We did not come low enough to mitigate this low, meaning we did not come in here to give us some sort of bullish divergence on a higher term time frame. Lower low, higher high kind of deal. But that's what I was looking for. I was looking for the long down here around 400. It didn't come to my level. I was a little bit upset. However, we do know how to jump onto a trend. So when you get this bullish divergence, this little one in here, as you can see, okay, and you reclaim the zero line, you put in a higher low, you have continuation out, and for me, I have the VWAP. The VWAP is in here somewhere, okay? The VWAP's in here. Then you get the breakout and the retest all in one candle. That's where you get long, right? And able to take advantage of this. I jumped on here. I also took a Popcat long. I took a Popcat long just for fun because honestly, it's like easy money. So I made like a couple $100 on Popcat. Looking for Bitcoin. I've taken profits on Bitcoin, letting this thing ride out right now. But that's kind of the summary of trading this morning. So not an easy one because of when it stalls out, when price stalls out, it's not easy to read, right? So like something like this, I really don't want to participate in trading this. This is really choppy, really shitty price action. It's what I call a coin flip, right? You're in here and like you want to press buy, but it doesn't make sense to press buy. This should have been your indication. I didn't just trade based off that sweep, okay? But that's it. Now, what are we doing right now is very important to answer. Is that we are coming up to the highs, right? We definitely have a giant order block that we are coming back in for as we speak right now. So if you can see here, if this populates here, we know that there is liquidity and an order block in this high here, okay, and up in here as well. So this is a huge area of interest for price to come to, okay? The warning that I have for everybody, even for everyone, is that we could get a triple top here. Okay, this is the warning. This is Bitcoin loves the triple top. I tell you this 100 times. Bitcoin loves the triple top. So if we do have a triple top here, 1, 2, 3, if we come up in here, put in a higher high, I'm very convinced that this will break down. Okay. I mean, this is very bullish, but let's be very cautious in the triple top breakdown. Okay. It'll take a little bit of a sweep of the highs and then a rejection. So let's be aware of that, and let's also be aware of what the liquidity down below us, right? So if you guys want my levels, I'll give you my levels. But for me right now, it's about being patient. It's not about chasing price. Okay, you're gonna get wrecked. Look at this thing. If you press buy up here because you're FOMOing it at the top, right? It's gonna come back and it's gonna wreck you. Okay, so please, 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 be very cautious here. So obviously we're coming for this order block in here. And then down below us, there's a boat ton of liquidity. Okay, my key area I'm looking 72 300, that area in here, and then this golden pocket order block right here at 71,200. Okay, if we're going to return. However, I mean, the Trump pump is real. Okay, let's not be confused. It is pushing. Uh, that doesn't mean like a move like this is sustainable, right? Like when we're pushing up like this, we can get rid of the trade here, right? What's going to happen is we push, 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 push. They're trapping traders, right? Long, 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 right? And they're going to come back, wreck them all, and then continue, okay? So we want to try to identify in here where it's a safe place to get long, okay? Allowing us to manage our risk and protecting ourselves to the downside. If we don't do that, then we're going to be a victim. You look at any of this move upwards over here, okay? You see this is a nice push from here to here. But what happens? You push, you come back. You push, you come back, okay? And then you push, getting everybody excited, and you wreck everybody, okay? That's wrecking everybody. Bullish engulfing, off to the races you go, okay? So you want to be able to identify this area. You want to be able to identify this area and maybe get long here and take this up, right? So you're safe. You have clear invalidation. You have a clear stop loss, right? A good tool to be using in a trending environment is the dynamic reactor, right? So you go in your dynamic reactor. Right now, the 15-minute really isn't doing it for me, so let's go lower. I think the 8 works really well a lot of the time, where it helps you identify trend, okay? And then you look for retests below the dynamic reactor, okay? Let's see if it loads up here. So what you're looking for is for this average price indicator, right? You're looking for this thing to average a price here and come underneath price action in an uptrend. When it comes underneath, you're looking to buy, you're looking to buy, you're looking to buy, you're looking to buy. That's what you're looking for on every type of moving indicator. I'm not sure if this is going to work here. Let's go to the 5-minute here. Maybe the 5-minute will populate our dynamic reactor. Yeah. So for me, yeah, so you're looking to buy, right? You're not looking to buy, you're underneath, you're looking to buy, right? I found the 8 worked really well. Maybe it'll load here. Yeah. Buy. So anytime you're below it, it didn't really work in this aggressive uptrend, but yeah, anytime you're below it, you're looking to buy. So right now, aggressive move out, right? This typically will come back and at least grab this little order block in here and hopefully bounce from here and continue, right? But getting long here is not where you want to get long. You want to wait for your confirmation. You want to jump onto the trend, but you don't want to be a victim of, a blow off top and then liquidity grab. That's what I'm really trying to stress right now. Another way you can do this is if you go on like a short-term time frame, you can track momentum. So up to the top here, like this. So you're looking for a bounce right now, actually, right? So you're looking for this thing to bounce from this area in here. A little bit of a wiggle, so a bounce and continuation, right? Right now, this is pretty aggressive. So we want to be cautious. This would be our next area of interest, this order block in here. And trying to just manage risk along the way is going to be important, okay? So a couple of tricks. A trend line works great, right? You just want 2 connecting points right here and here, right? And that'll project this. Especially if you're getting like, let's say you're getting long here, okay? You don't have to close this trade until you break this trend line, okay? That's a very easy way of holding trades longer, okay? So, you push up, you consolidate, you don't have to close the trade yet, right? You push up, consolidate, you push up. Okay, you're getting close. You may be close to it, but until you lose this, you don't necessarily have to close the trade, and then you can look for the retest and maybe get out a little bit higher if you're looking to hold this longer. But just a little way that I use for trading and scalping in short-term time frames. But you don't want to be, especially after, I would say after the initial second move. So 1, 2, this is where you do not want to go long. If anything, if you're jumping on, it's in the first leg up, okay? And that's how I would be managing my risk and protecting myself to the downside. That's at the end of the day, that's what you really want to be doing. You don't want to just FOMO in, right? This is getting everybody excited into the FOMC this morning or this afternoon, or is it interest rate and the meeting this afternoon. So be very cautious going into this evening.
Oh, yes, absolutely. So let me just give my little 2 cents in here. I'm going to be talking about the picture that I sent, and also I'm going to be I'm going to be answering some questions from Gohila. He had some questions about the VPVR, and I want to go ahead and answer those questions because, guys, I think, and by the way, remember, I'm that uncomfortable guy, right? Uncomfortable friend that is gonna try to always to give you a straight answer, whether you like it or not. So just be aware that I'm not the way that I'm gonna be answering that is giving some examples. So just don't take them the wrong way, right? I'm gonna be explaining that, but first, let's take a look at my charts in here, very quick. If I can get to the chat. All right, perfect. I did. So let me bring this up. Guys, this is something I gave today. So, because this is an ongoing possibility, all right, this class is not going to go live until tomorrow because this is meant for you guys that come to the class, right? And when I publish them, well, then that goes into the wild. So something that you might also be looking at it is the lack of both BPBR. Come on, where is it? Where are you, BPBR? Just can't see it. Uh, Give me just guys 1 second, please. There we go. Much better. All right. VPBR, support and resistance, and predictive ranges, right? Which everything is right now at a combination. So bear with me. I know it's a little bit hard between the text and everything, but let's just keep it up here. So the plan, right? We are bouncing from the top of the channel, this channel right here that we can see right there. By the way, this bottom channel was given, it is automated, given by the trend line for a automated trend line of chart prime tools, right? You can also turn on channels and it will be right there for you. The next thing that I'm going to be looking at, it is, all right, so a reversal is expected, all right? So basically, usually at the top, at the resistance, we are looking for a reversal. In fact, we already had a little bit of a reversal, right? Let me just also clean this up. So that reversal was already playing out. So that reversal is going on. But remember, the elections FOMO has not yet gone away, so it has not wear out so far, right? I mean, we keep seeing right now officials elected, and I mean the Congress is very bullish on crypto, so things are still pushing upwards, right? I mean, we see everything pumping up, despite a couple of things like, for example, DIX is retracing a little bit. I think crypto has a little bit more enthusiast fans, right? Like us. So that's why the FOMO has not yet gone away. So technicals may be obscured by fundamentals this time, which means at a resistance, at a flip of the ribbon, going for retracement, that is the technical. What is the fundamental? We still have momentum, right? People still excited, people are still buying, and we see that upwards movement and upwards pressure, like Alex was saying. So, taking this into consideration, what I'm going to be looking for is going to be a little bit of a retracement, and because we still have momentum, right? Early FORs, early flip of the ribbon, early moving to the upside, breaking through stuff, right? But still, remember technicals, looking and being careful with those tops. So let's keep reading here. First, before I go into the 1, 2, 3, and 4 possibilities, let's see what I got here. Early bounce and look for a 4R. We're at this predictive range right here, right? Not only we have a predictive range right there, we also have the previous high. So this would be a good area for a possible bounce. In fact, let me just move this out of the way. And the bounce that we had was almost immediate, so not even there, right? But that's fine. Early bounce of the ribbon. So do we have early bounce? Yeah, of the price action? Yes. Also, what is there? Look for FOR, right? What is FOR? Flip of the ribbon. Look at that. I also pair it with here. Early FOR at the green and red cloud convergence. So right here, are we seeing right now that FOR? I would say that it is the beginning of the FOR, and you already have the pump, the reversal right here on the price action. So are we ready for it? I would say maybe give it 1 or 2 candles to see if we reject once again, right? If we reject once again, we wait a little bit more for grabbing a support, and that's what we jump in. All right. Then let's take a look at what the next time. Our retail area of support right here. Look at that big chunky area of retail area. This is also to answer a little bit of Gohila. You answer, your question was, do we read the VPVR normally? Absolutely. Just remember how we read this one and just read it normally, which is, and if you don't remember, go back to the video that I made for you on the previous classes, on the class with the VPVR, which I explained usual normal volume to your right, so usual regular VPVR, a percentage of importance between itself area and then disparity. And then you'll figure out how to use any of those areas. But at this point, yeah, I mean, you read it normally as you would read a chart prime VPVR, not as you would read a classical VPVR, because this has a little bit more information. So, I mean, just to answer that, yes, you can use it as a normal VPVR, but you will be missing out the point by using this one. All right. So we have a retail area of support. How do I can tell retail? Well, go back and watch the video. And we have another also support area right here. So this is an important area. Why? Because retail area usually, there we go, retail, oh, come on, because of my mouse click. This retail area right here give us ranging zones. So when we're talking about coming back down, well, a range zone, we usually stop the price action and give space to reallocate gains, reallocate or redistribute your money, which is going to be giving the opportunity to people to maybe reinvest, give it a time to maybe search a little bit more money and put it into the trade, restructure, maybe take out some losses, and then maybe put down or add liquidity, whatever, right? I'm not telling you to do so. I'm just telling you what usually happens on retail areas when we're coming down into a range, all right? That's just a fact, not an instruction, all right? The next thing what we have, it is right here, automated trend line, just pointing out the automated trend line that is also paired with the range. And finally, smart money entry. Why are we looking at smart money entry? Once again, if you don't know how I can tell smart money apart from retail money, go watch the video that I made on that class. I explained it on detail there. Why? Because if for any reason everything goes wrong, or we have a further pullback, or we have that triple top, well, then we're going to have a further move to the downside, right? And we have seen that. I mean, remember that we were expecting a bouncing here. What happened? We have a fake out to the dynamic reactor, all right? So my main area of entry is going to be where everything is going to be bunching up. If I extend my dynamic reactor here, well, I will say that depending on how far I go, I could be looking at this area for interest, which is my area of retail. All right, I'm going to just clear that up once again. And then if this doesn't hold, I'm going to be waiting and trying to enter along with smart money all the way down here, right? With also a support. Very important. Always, always, always looking for FOR. Finally, all FOR at zero line, which is the main plan. All right. So let's go now to plan number one. Breakout to the upside. All right. And fast pullback. So plan A, it is going for the fundamentals, not for the technicals. So we're going to be breaking for a breakout. Remember, big body candle breaking through, right? Flash pullback and then continuation as we have the early FOR. All right. So just to give you that heads up right there. So that's plan number one, which at this point seems, but it's not confirmed, that is going to be the game. Guys, do not get excited beforehand. We have not yet broken it, right? Remember, breakout and retest. So we're waiting for the breakout. Once it breaks out, that's when we start looking at for the retest. All right. So do not get anxious here, right? Why? Because this could be the next up and then the reversal, which would be a better entry, right? And you will not be entering at the top. All right. Two, entry. Have an early entry, half of a position at 73,930. So somewhere around here, 73,930. There we go, right there at this line. Did we made it? Not just yet. In fact, we just barely missed that. All right, that retracement ish. So main entry at the bottom of the range. You see, main entry at where all of the confluence is going for, right? and the trend with the FOR. So we're pairing support with FOR. All right. And finally, secondary entry, double down at dynamic reactor. So we're going to be looking where dynamic reactor is going to be at. And then we're going to be pairing most likely with the smart money area that is going to be located at as we go back down. All right. So basically, this is what I'm looking for Bitcoin. At this point, we have the early flip of the ribbon. That's what seems to be playing, but we don't yet have that further move or breakout to the upside. So at this point, it is an unknown breakout, speculative possible breakout or bounce from, and that's gonna be within the next 2 or 3 candles. So be patient. Remember, this is the 4-hour time frame, and you might within these 2 or 3 candles, you could even do 1 or 2 trades on your 5 or 15 minutes. So depending how you're feeling, once again, be careful. This is a volatility area, but at my perspective, this is the place where we start dipping the toes in the pool just to test the water, right? Is it too cold? Let's just wait a little bit more. Is it too warm? Once again, let's wait a little bit more. We're waiting for that right temperature, right? That right place, and also jump in slowly, not all at once, not 100K, not 100X, right? So we're gonna be going slowly here. Just to be clear, FOR is the ribbon direction, not the color, correct? Yes, that is correct. FOR flip of the ribbon, it is the ribbon direction, not the color. That is correct. So other than that, let me go ahead right now since we have the FOR pulled up. Or before I go on to that, Alex, would you like to add to maybe that analysis or have a little bit of a contrast conversation before I take questions from Gohila, or would you like me to go straight to it?
Keep going. I'm gonna do Ethan grass when you're done. So I'll pull up Ethan grass and you finish what you're doing there.
Absolutely. So let me just give you guys a little second so I can open up my Discord here with you very quick. Remember that yesterday I was showing you guys where you can ask questions if you were not able to assist to the class. I got it right here. There we go. So this is a Discord. You go to your main Discord, which is the Chart Prime, and then you scroll down to class recordings. You're gonna have less noise. I have too many channels that you should not have, right? So you scroll down and you go to class recording and look at that. We have a new thread, Thursday, Tuesday 5. So go ahead, my friend. Once again, I'm gonna be giving you examples, but what I want to build up with you, because I think that is the main issue, is that it's not that you don't know. It is that maybe it's lack of confidence on yourself, right? So that's why I'm gonna be directing my answers the way I'm gonna be doing it. So you build up that confidence. So first of all, how we set the look back period? Look at your question two, and you have your answer, right? So I mean, as easy peasy as that, you gave your answer to yourself, which is telling me you already know, right? And we also explained that into the past 2 videos about it. So, but let's keep reading just to double down on that. So that's why it's telling me that you already know the answer, but you might be lacking on that. I mean, should I be trusting myself, right? And yeah, do it. Assuming that we set the look back period back far enough, there you go. How do you set, or how long do you set your look back period? Far enough. And you also give more detail on that. In fact, I'm just going to be using your answer to answer your question to answer yourself. And let's keep reading here. Should we be reading the volume profile normal? Yes, why not? Right? Normal in one way, right, which is the right way, and then normal also, but with the left side talking about just the chart prime VPVR. Why? Because chart prime gives you 3 points, right? Raw volume, real volume allocation, which is usually the same as the VPVR, classic VPVR, but with the exception that we have real volume allocation, all right? And then the left side, it is the left side. Let me just start cleaning this up so we can see things better. All right. And then your left side, it is at the disparity, right? So the basically all of the volume, positive and negative volume, all added with that change. So basically, that's why you have negative. Remember, we explained that on the other video. So you can go and watch it again if you have a little more questions on what exactly we're having here. All right. Then the next part is it because when it's reaching new highs. All right, important. Reaching new highs, which means that we don't have previous highs, right? So what is the main volume? What is the important volume? Past volume? How could you use past volume to predict new volume if this is not there? Well, then you can use it by using trend lines on volume, but this is not something that this tool does, right? This part of the question you're asking me, and once again, remember, with all due respect, that's I'm gonna be just giving you an example. You're asking me how to remove a ding out of your car with a hammer, right? So the hammer is meant to do the ding, not to subtract it, right? Hey, what's up?
I could do that. I'm a carpenter.
You can do that. Yeah. Love it. Love it. Absolutely. So, I mean, the main point is like, oh, there you go. Let's fix some things there, my friend. Man, I just, what? You're muted.
It's on my desk. So when I lose trades, I hit my hand. So I
That was my
learn.
next
You know,
question, my friend. Like,
sometimes I'm sometimes I'm in Italian it's called testa dura. It's a thick head, you know.
oh man, in Spanish it's
Where is the
testarudo
stiletto?
with
This,
R, but that's
oh,
good.
the stiletto's in the actual bag. This is just here because I was doing a little bit of renovations.
All right, that was my next question. Like, I mean, dude, I do not doubt your abilities a bit, but my next question is, why would you have a hammer next to your desk while trading?
I got a drill too.
Oh man, let me show you what I got here next to my desk. Oh, look at that. Priorities, my friend. Priorities, right? By the way, yeah, this is. I'm
Duct
trying to
tape
get.
included. Yeah.
I'm trying to get. This is one of my
I know.
favorite ones, and Piper had
Is that
helped
a
me.
bong?
No. It's a
That looks
tequila.
like
It's a
a
tequila
bong.
bottle. Looks like it, but I know.
Eh.
You put a little bit of
OC
this
is
on
coming
your
on and
coffee,
teaching
my
you
friend,
guys.
and it just becomes magical.
We'll give you
So,
the grappa.
no thanks. I appreciate it, but I'll let that one pass by
You
me.
would be blind.
Man, guys, this is why I will never be monetized on my channel. Oh shit. No, by the way, quick story before we move on. Piper has been helping me a lot. I mean, I did ask for a big favor, so shout out to Piper. And I'm trying to get him that a set of those tequilas. One of my favorite ones. It is what is it? I can't read it. I need my glasses here, but whatever. So long story short, I try to get him some of that tequila to his doorstep. Don't tell him. Don't tell him. I'll rebuild when I'm able to ship it. I'll rebuild that to him on public, maybe on the Piper Academy. But yeah, keeping track on what on the questions, right? Let's go back in here. So once again, like let's go here, because now I'm gonna be asked. I mean, doubling back down into the first question, how do you set the look back period, right? Which is already answered. So I cannot tell you like what is the important volume that you want to look for, right? That's the main thing, and that is also something that he acknowledges. But I just want to go over this because I think it kind of like could get complicated. Like if you don't do some, I don't know how to call this, maybe if you dig too much. So basically, just keep it simple. That's what I would say, right? So let me go somewhere I can draw. Not there. I think this one. All right, perfect. So let's wait for that little thing to just move or to appear, the VPVR. There we go. We have the VPVR here. Let me just clear whatever is there. And how far back? Well, then, if you want to have the VPVR showing you where the big volume is at, so you maybe can have here, I don't know, retail, smart money, or sorry, smart money, retail, important areas. Well, then first, remember that this is the price action is not there. This volume needs to be historical volume, right? Or historical volume. So do we have historical volume there? Have we ever been on 82,000? No, right? So that's why we cannot pull that up. So and so that's why, I mean, just bear that in mind. It will create as we speak, and that's what I mentioned in the previous explanation. So that's why I send you to watch it again. Remember that this yellow number indicates where right now as we speak. Look at how those numbers are changing, right? We are live adding volume to it, and that is the difference between the other VPVRs. This is live updating. This is not just past data. This takes right at this candle, right at this moment, right? Information and add it there so you have the latest and greatest information at your disposal. So that is only let's just say the only, right, which is a big difference from the usual normal VPVR. So then what? Well, then if you cannot have higher VPVR because there is no volume there, well, you just will need to wait for it to form, right? So how do you predict the next movement? Well, then you use another tool, right? Just like using a hammer to create a ding, you use a spatula or a long bar, behind the car to push out that thing that you created with the hammer, right? So what could we be using here? Maybe what we could be doing here, it's adding just the reference volume. For example, right? Like that. So volume, let's just add it. And then you start watching, for example, tops, right? Tops, stops, 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 stops. Oh, what do you think is going to be the direction now that we have also a trend line, right? So that's how you predict future volume with a different tool. And I mean, you cannot do that exactly with this one. You could, but why would you make your life harder, right? Well, then that's why we have different tools, and each tool it is designed visually, right, and give you the information to a certain purpose. So just to kind of like answer that question. Another thing that we have, which is much better than that volume profile, it is the Oscillator Pro Plus. Why? Because we give you a volume matrix right down here. All right. So you can do exactly as you were doing right there here, but also having bearish volume, bullish volume, and you can start making that threshold line. So when we start breaking the threshold line, like we did here, we're overreaching. There we go, grabbing some momentum, and off we go, right? And then also you have money flow. So I would rather, I will do executing my predictions with tools that allows me to execute that predictions, right? As you can see, I use volume, but not in the VPVR, right? On regular volume or on my Prime Oscillator Plus. So let's go next to the next question because I think it's also important here. All right, let's just read it all. So new highs, new price actions should not as high in important as the old price. That's up to you. I cannot tell you that. Why? Because if we are in the middle, like let's just say that, for example, yesterday we were here. Is this price action important? I would say yes, because my volume profile it's going to where it matters. So I was reading this volume, and this volume, along with everything else, right? But I just move it but far back enough to my previous high that give me those areas that I need to. If I, for example, just set up my look back period to here, well then of course that I'm not gonna have anything from back period in here and only gonna be looking at new data. Therefore, you're adding importance to your new data. For me, it is equal importance, new data and old data for me. but you do you. So that's not something that I can tell you what to do. What is the difference? It is just basically all data you don't know for sure is going to play it out now, but it's giving you a hint of where things happened in the past so you can predict to your future. So you see the importance? It's not telling you what to do now because that's just impossible, but it's giving you the hint, just like support and resistances, right? It's telling you, hey, here we bounce, not now, but in the past. So look for other tools that tells you that we could be bouncing here, right? So that is the way also how to use support and resistances. It's not a for sure area, it's just a preventive area, right? So that answer, I think that answers that importance of the oil price because the oil price have more historical data, not always, depending on how far back you're using. For example, right here, how much historical data do I have on 75? You get my point? That's it. So that will be on that, right? The Miller are with the percentage. Yes, that's a percentage within themselves. Like for example, depending on the volume, raw volume, right? Raw volume is this volume. Depending on the volume of the rest of the spikes, and which is much more important, and the reaction of the buys and sells, which is the deficit or disparity, right, will set a itself importance on how could be getting more important. Like for example, let's go here. Huge volume, everybody, no disparity or very low disparity, and was positive. So that, I mean, that is a very important within the self area. It's also taking into consideration its size of volume based on the rest of them, right? So for example, this is still 5% importance of what it could become. And how do you keep an eye? By the new volume added. So I will be just say to myself, this importance percentage is closed because I'm not adding that volume. Since I'm not adding volume to that zone, well, then this is a fixed importance on itself. So I might not be looking at so much to it, right? But a constant changing factor will constantly be changing the importance and also constantly be changing the disparity. Just so you know why, because we've not been there before and we are creating this zone at this point. All right, we're making history as at this area right now. I don't know if that makes sense. Let's finish this up because I feel that I have taken forever. Okay, the potential it should give higher importance to lower price action. Not really. That importance will again. Uh, if you want to see, that, just compare it to the rest of the volume. That's why we give you. That's why we give you size and not just numbers, right? So you have a comparison. So you already have it. What are we going to be duplicating it with a percentage, right? That percentage to give you information that you otherwise it will be more difficult to get, because just to get the importance overall, not only compare the classical size, but also compare how this one, as a result of the volume, is at, and that will give you this one, right? So to get the 70.9%, I mean, you will have to do some mathematical yourself in a piece of paper or an Excel sheet, and you will have to know what exactly you're looking for, right? So instead of you had to have that knowledge, we just, well, this is important. We're gonna add it to you so you don't have to do anything else. So that's the thing. So right? No, not really. So here is also when you answer yourself, my friend. So let's talk previous bull run, for example. All right, perfect. Let's do it. When BTC was running up in price and creating new highs, that is the key, creating new highs. So historically, we didn't have that data. So we're creating the data also, right? And you also said it here. So you knew it from before. So just try to build up that confidence on you, my friend, right? So just answering that. How do we set the look back period? Whatever is important to you. I mean, let's be honest here. you're not using unexisting data to predict further movements. You are using current data to predict retracements, right? So, what is the meaningful retracement? Don't go that far to whatever is below your price action. I mean, you can do all the way here, but who cares? We're not here. We're not there yet, right? So basically, whatever is meaningful to you. Remember, the farther the look back period you go. Let me show you how to change that. You click on the gear icon. You go to your volume profile, and here's your profile length. Let's turn this on. By the way, you can turn that off just to visualize that 500 candles. All right. Quick tip: and let me mark this 500 4-hour candles. If I go to daily, 500 daily candles. You see the difference? And that is to keep a balance between what you see, because having just tiny itty bitty, like lines, it's just gonna be a mess. You can change that, of course, on the settings to give you what you're looking for. So that's why it changes with the time frame. It is not a fixated area. Regardless, I mean, if you have this volume, it doesn't affect you by looking at here. You just have more data. And if you're looking at Bitcoin, well, then your look back period usually is fixed to the time frame that you're looking for, right? So that's it. That's just it. So look back period, that's how you change it. And then the definition, which is how small and big areas we're going to be looking for, it is going to be right here. How many profile levels? So I would say do not go nuts on this number. It's not worth it. Just give it a good thick area to read properly, and then you fine tune it with support and resistance, predictive ranges, and way better liquidity zones, right? So there's no point to just add that much value. Also, remember, the farther we go back, the more data we will need to process, and TradingView has a limited RAM data for you. So you might be just running out of place. Just so you remember, right here before I had an exclamation mark, and that is because I was pushing it a little bit harder here. All right. So let me clear this up. Oh, come on! Did I just? Yes, I did. Sorry. Let me clear this up. Just disappear that thing in the background, because for me, I don't know. I just don't like having it. Right. And then let's go here. How do we set look back period? Well, that you just set it for the retracement, which is the important retracement areas. So you just need to look for the meaningful pullback. So that's to answer that. And how do we read the volume profile given the new price? New price, the exact same thing. It doesn't change anything. How do you read the new? I mean, let's just say that we jump in here. We're gonna create a new box, and we're gonna be adding volume. So raw volume, importance of percentage, and disparity, and that's it. That you read it the same way. But you are not reading it to get there or to bounce from it, because you're building it. You're reading it for when you come back down to that important area. You see where that trend line is. You see where that important area is. So that's how you use it for that retracement. If you're already retraced and you have historical data, that's when you use it as resistance. All right. So that is just to wrap it up. And I think new price coming all the time. Well, yeah, I mean, if you don't want it, I mean, I think that is one of the most important things. Live data, live data being added right away, right? So if you don't want it, I would suggest not using it, or just ignoring the last one at the top. So because if you don't see the value, which I'm not pushing you to use it, because I mean, if somebody pushed me to use something I don't like, I'm still not gonna like it. I'm still not gonna use it. It's not gonna work for me. So it doesn't work for you. Then look away and use another tool that does fit what you're looking for. And I think what you might be looking for, it is predictive ranges. So why? Because we are predicting up ahead. We are using mathematics, right? Predictive mathematics, so statistics, right? We're using statistics to, based on the previous price action, to give us where the price might channel and create support and resistances based on statistics to the upside. So predictive ranges, and that's why I have them both on the same layer. I have prediction and back data as long as right away data. And for example, if I'm right here at the top, easy peasy. I just double click it. Let's go to my predictive ranges, right? Predictive ranges, there we go. Instead of chart, I just go to something higher. Let's use daily. For example, since we're in the 4 hour, well, we can use 6 hour, 12-hour daily. Let's go to a 12 hours since it's closer here. 12-hour. So it will have a back test, a farther back test, and will give me more information. If you don't have this like this, if it did not give you more data to the upside, just change it a little bit here. So let's go, for example, instead of, where's my predictive ranges? Oh, I'm not used to this new thing. All right. Instead of 12, let's go to, I don't know, 1 day, or even go to lower time frames to just grab this last data and then predict. There we go. We have a prediction, right? So we have what golden, which usually means big retracement or worth retracement, that it's out to the thing, and then further move for the next area. So if you're looking to have something that predicts support and resistances, because once again, you don't even have support and resistances there because there's nothing to grab support and resistances from, if that makes sense. So what you need to use predictive mathematics, right? Just like you predict the weather, just like you predict, I don't know, earthquakes, just look predict whatever, right? That's also how you count cards, right? Because you're using predictive math to have to put a set of value where things should be happening or how things should be happening, and that's how you filled up that gap that I think you're requesting. Other than that, I think I covered the whole thing. Sorry for taking the long, guys, but I think it's important because I've seen this question being asked several times. Once again, watch those videos if you have questions. I think watching it more than once will realize that you might skip something that it's answering your question. So just watch it 1 or 2 times. That's kind of like my take. And of course, I do encourage you to open up threads and ask me questions because that's what I'm here for. So let me drop this up. And Alex, sorry to interrupt your snacks.
Oh, you mean it? Do I have to work today?
Oh man. So sorry, brother.
My wife is probably like, this guy hasn't said a single word all day. He's probably looking at porno or something.
He just told me that he's working, so I leave him alone,
Yeah,
right?
yeah, exactly. um, okay, I guess I can do something today. Let's
Oh.
thank you, OC. I think it's good. I love your passion, bro. It's awesome. It's awesome, man. Helping people change their lives. So looking at Ethereum, okay? I mean, this long trade is beautiful. It is a beautiful thing to see. And I gave it to you. I gave it all to you guys. I told you we're getting along here. Um, all of us are still in this long in my community. So we've gotten a back test right now. So this could be juicy, man. So we've had a back test on this breakout. So we know when we zoom out on Ethereum, what's the most important thing here is reclaiming this area, right? So if we look at this objectively, what do we see, right? We see an ascending channel to the upside, right? And we see volume in here, right? Where's our next volume? Well, it's reclaiming basically $2,800. Okay, that doesn't mean it's gonna happen, but you can see you have your even your chart prime has given you the breakout and the move here and pretty much hit it. Okay, so that's pretty amazing. So with Ethereum right now, we are actually looking to add to our long. Okay, so in our community, has been announced we are looking to add. Okay, if because I've taken profits, some other people have taken profits, but it doesn't mean it's over, right? This is a beautiful bullish trend. So what we can see is we've had the push up, we had the creep up, then we had an absolute ripper yesterday, and then we're holding support here. So can this continue to hold? That is the question, right? Can this continue to hold? We'll have to wait and find out. But the thing is this is looking really strong, right? If you do want to kind of front run or trade Ethereum, you know, you can look at Arbitrum, and if you or Optimism. Those are two that move very um, similarly because they're on the ETH chain, layer twos. But if you really want to take advantage of this, go to Pepe. And this is never financial advice, but when Ethereum is ripping, Pepe melts faces. Okay, Pepe. If you look at this chart and then you look at the safest, strongest meme coin to trade, I mean, this is beautiful. Hit some targets up here. Pepe's flagging out too. So if Ethereum wants to continue to rip, look to jump on the Pepe train. You can see this thing too. Very clear, like aggressive uptrend on Pepe. So until this is broken, right? Anytime for you got to keep it simple in bull runs. You look for the retest of the trend line. You look for the retest of the trend line, and you get long, right? You get long, you take profits. You get long, you take profits. So very similarly with Ethereum here, going back over to ETH, we can see we pushed up, chop, 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 push up, right? The only warning I have right now is do we swing fail and drop? Okay, that's what we're watching out. Don't want to buy the top. You want to set the trap. So the trap is coming back down to about 2750 and looking to get long off that. The only concern right now is if we do get acceptance back into this zone in here and we zoom out, we can see that typically we're coming back at least to the middle of the range. So if we're looking at this as like a 4-hour range, we're probably coming down back to 2500. Like that's the hard reality of this is if we do not continue to push, look at how choppy this is, right? So this is chop world. So you're typically looking to come back and revisit at least 2600 here, okay? If we're going to continue upwards. So keep that in mind, but Ethereum right now looking hella strong. Last night having an absolute ripper, and you'll see the rotation. A way to see the rotation, you go over to total 2. This is everything except for Bitcoin, and you can see total 2 is on an absolute uptrend. So same, very similar story as Ethereum, looks almost identical to Ethereum, and total 3 as well. So everything excluding ETH and Bitcoin. So these things are absolutely ripping to the upside. So with Ethereum, you're typically looking to be patient, wait for this thing to see. Like I would think, and I've been in this camp, is that we want to see a range established in here. If we see a range, we just want to get in at the bottom of the range, protect ourselves, you know, maybe below here, and look to take advantage of this. Our next level of resistance is right around 3000. Okay, just so that you're aware. Going over to grass. Okay, don't be smoking too much grass because this is a crazy meme coin. But I've narrowed it down for you. So you can see, obviously, push up, flag out, push up, flag out, push up, flag out. So for me, I got two. I would like to see somewhere in these trend lines. So like just keeping it simple again, I have two nice momentum trend lines for you. So yeah, we've ripped to the upside right now. So I'm looking for that to come back down and then bounce. Okay. Doesn't mean it's necessarily going to happen right now. If you are looking to take advantage of this too, if we want to get degenerate and get into like a short-term time frame, you guys know me. You guys know what I'm looking for, and that's a retested previous highs. Okay, so that's your next level. So either you're looking to long here, or you're being a little bit more patient and you're going to long somewhere along this trend line. Okay, and lower your margin, lower your leverage, be safe. This thing is absolutely ripping it, but look at the chop, right? So don't be a victim of the chop. Give yourself a little bit of wiggle room, and look to take advantage of the price action. Okay, so those are the two requests, and make sure that you guys are protecting yourself to the downside. This is up only. However, They will come back for you. If you're long in the top here, you're getting wrecked, right? So what are we looking for right now? I would look for Bitcoin to come back and retest the value area high of this range and continue out. Right now, we have a nice order block materialized down below here, which is a liquidity zone as well. So if we're really trying to narrow down the Bitcoin price, right, we're watching very cautiously for the triple top. You can draw this one out. I would draw stupid magnet tool. Sometimes, bro, the magnet tool can go to hell. We're watching for this. I have an extension level above us. Okay, right here at 76,900. Okay, extension level up here as well. So two areas of caution I am suggesting to watch for. Right, triple top coming back down, breaking everybody's little Bitcoin hearts. Right, then we look to get long. Okay, lots of liquidity in here. Be cautious of that. So right now, do we come back down to the value area high of the range and retest it and bounce? Quite possibly, okay? Quite possibly. This thing is pretty aggressive right now, right? But for me right now, a little bit of patience is going to prevail. You can look to take this if we are going to continue, but we need to be cautious with this, okay? So don't be just jumping in, and if you are just jumping in, I mean, protect yourself, please. Like, manage your risk accordingly. Don't be over greedy. Get on the trend. We want to favor longs, but we don't want to be naive to the fact that price is going to come back and grab liquidity before continuing upwards. So thank you, OC, for giving me the day off. That was my 10 minutes, and you guys have a wonderful, wonderful rest of your day.
Absolutely, Alex. I would not hold you so much. If you need to go, I mean, of course, please go ahead and do what you need to do. I just want to thank you guys a lot, and also want to show you a little bit of a thing here. Let's stop the recording right now before I show it.